Hey guys, Digital Sticks coming to you just before we head to the creek, and it's a nice hot sweltering day, so it's wonderful to have that creek close by. And before heading there, I wanted to talk real quick on a topic that is, the VR stuff that I'm sharing, VRchat in particular. The game appeals to me because of how it allows people to reach out and have social connections that otherwise wouldn't have them for various reasons. One of those reasons is depression. I struggle with depression, and it's in a manner that's very clear that it's its own animal to an extent. I mean, I can be perfectly fine and motivated and actually excited about something I have planned for the next day, and I can wake up in the morning and it's just not there. It's not happening. That's difficult to deal with, and people don't react well to people that don't have a smile on their face and what have you. So VRchat allows you to even not be in the best of mood and just simply put a little pep in your voice and talk to people and have it change. Have the situation and the fun that you have change your mood instead of having your mood dictate the way your day goes. So that's a very wonderful thing. And like for me with depression, my recent circumstances have, first off, there's a lot there that could tell that a lot of people could understand why I'd be depressed, and they would just think it'd be just that. And to an extent there is, but I don't really dwell on a lot of those negative things. I put them behind. Now, maybe it's not always, some of it probably needs to be dealt with a little better than simply putting it behind, but I put it out of mind and focus on something positive going forward. And that's where my struggle with depression comes in. You try to do something positive going forward, and you need the energy and motivation to do it. When you're, for example, these YouTube projects or creation content, like anything along those lines, trying to establish that requires a little bit of upbeat. Nobody wants to get on YouTube and watch somebody frown and smile and frown and smile, frown and smile, both at the same time. It's just too confusing. Nobody wants to see someone get on here and share how terrible their day was. I mean, some people do it, but if you're trying to actually have appeal and have an audience, it's not going to work. So depression doesn't get along with making YouTube content for sure, and doesn't get along with streaming and being upbeat and entertaining and interacting with people, or worse yet, when you have no followers and the advice is to act as though you did the whole time, and you've got nobody watching, yet you're still trying to be enthusiastic for, so all of that is very out of place for me as an introvert. Anyways, what isn't out of place is a desire to reach out and connect with people and share things and help. And so, introverts, we're not antisocial. We aren't driven by outward stimulus from other people. We are intuitive and just inwardly motivated. I'm not the best one to describe that, but some people do attempt to spread the word on that. And so, like even this content, I'm very genuine, so, trying to be, it's not dishonest to be entertaining when presenting content, but it's definitely challenging to even give a thought to how I'm presenting myself. But it's also a good thing, especially dealing with depression. It could help a lot just to put a smile on my face, and that, not to deceive anybody, not to hide, but just simply to help improve the situation. When it works, it works. So VRchat, it hides the expression on your face. You can go in and just enjoy, get involved with people. You can be, but you're not going to be isolated further or avoided simply by looking like you're down and you're going to be a drag on somebody's day. So, and we do some of that naturally. It may even be defensive. I mean, I know, I've got, the only people that I have that really care about the situations I go through are going through a lot on their own too, and I care about those too, but then it becomes a struggle you know, trying to hold your own head up, and you know, it's just balancing the negativity versus positive, you know, the positive, and trying to get your own head up and hold your own head up while not disregarding others' worries. It's a balancing act, and so that's probably a defense mechanism that we have, that we kind of steer away from people that look like they're down and troubled, you know. And maybe some of us have a deep fear that the next thing coming out is a gun and it's all on, you know. I don't know. Probably not. But so VRchat, you don't have that first impression. And when you do reach out, just recognize what you're experiencing in VRchat. That can be in real life too. You know, not, I mean, obviously there's some limits. Some people are rather lewd in there, but not that things, but just the friendly nature of the conversation. You can have those conversations in real life too, and it's easier than you think. And part of that would be to try to just be aware of your demeanor as you approach people or as people approach you, and see if you can help learn to better break the ice for starting conversations. But the other side of depression is, Kurt Cobain had a lyric in a song that said, "I miss the comfort in being sad." And so I'm basically starting over with my life and trying to find out what drives me and motivates me. And when you've got an episode of depression that keeps pretty much anything from grabbing your attention, it gets really tricky. And I can relate to that lyric about missing the comfort in being sad, because before I ever resisted, I mean, you know, I didn't choose depression, but before I resisted and tried to steer myself towards something more positive, and pursue more positive things, and not just simply go with the flow and how I was feeling, there was a lot of identity wrapped up in just being depressed. And even, and now this is going back to teenage years, early 20s maybe, you know, being suicidal too. But that wasn't going to get me anywhere, obviously. So be aware of that there is a comfort in being sad. There is a tendency to just go with our flow, and sometimes we need to challenge that. You know, I'm all about being real and genuine, but we've got to recognize, we've got to be willing to look and see what will take us in the direction we want to go in life in general. And so we should resist that comfort in being sad, and that's going to mean having to deal with recognizing the depression for what it is and being more aware of it. We can't put it out of sight, out of mind when we're trying to do something against the current of the depression. So, all right. Okay. Hang on. Okay, so Matthew's got something for me. Like I said, we're about to go to the creek. Okay, now I've lost my train of thought. There was one other point to that. Okay, that's it. Okay, so the...
I'm not gonna eat it though. We're saving it for the creek.
Okay, all right, that's what okay, so I've got to wrap this up. But the other part of that I was going to get to... Oh, yeah, you're not going, buddy. He wants to go, huh? Okay, Buddy's decided he's going to go with us to the creek. See? You wanting to go? Are you trying to tell me you want to go? He's just like, this is comfy. All right. Okay, so our dog's in the thing. We are going to try to get them to the creek. When we got him, we were told that he likes to swim. Okay. All right, let me put on a final thought here. Okay, the final thought, if I get back to it, yeah, you can subscribe. No, hang on. If I can get back to it, it's to cut yourself a break for being depressed. Recognize that we're not all extroverts, we're not all bubbly, full of energy, and sometimes a big part of it is to simply accept, whether we like it or not, that that's what we deal with, and that it should pass or what have you, but just recognize that you don't choose it, and you can try to work with it and try to make progress, but you're not going to be able to snap yourself out of it every single day, every single moment. And if you're like me and you had inspiration to do a project or something that really needed the energy and motivation to do right, then you may just have to cut yourself a break and let that slide and and I've been doing that. You know, when I've had those days, I've gotten better at accepting that. So that's the pointers here for the depression. Is first off, VRchat and VR in general, the socialization, the immersion, that provides an avenue to have real contact that can help break you past the stalemates that just simply being depressed and the impression that that makes can have on your social life. And then you can start to explore, you can discover new aspects of social interaction that you don't quite reach on an average day in passing because of depression or whatever else your issues are. And then the other side is there is a comfort in being sad, and you have to recognize that and resist it. Now, I haven't been, in despair and suicidally depressed or anything like that in forever. Yeah, I basically reached the point that that's not even, I just don't think I allow that to even be a consideration to go there, But so for me, I've progressed to a point that I just have the mood and the energy that comes out of nowhere that I can't shake, and that is very inconvenient for what I'm trying to do. But obviously, especially the younger people, when I was younger, that wasn't the case. I didn't have that mindset to simply choose. I've just, I guess somewhere in life I'm learning a little bit about my ability to choose to be happy and whatnot. So there is a comfort in being sad, and you have to resist that. You have to be careful about that defining you. That is the easy route. And if any dead fish can float downstream. You need to go against that current to get to where you want to get. You just have to look at where that's taking you. Is that where you want to be? Is it so comfortable being sad that you never want to find anything worthwhile in life? And maybe maybe in the depths of depression is not the time to answer that question fully, but just do some self-evaluation. You're going to have to. You're going to have to be your best friend in this. And then finally, cut yourself some slack. You didn't choose depression. There's various schools of thought as far as depression goes. It's not, it's not the same controversy that, being gay is or whatever. Like people know that people don't choose to be depressed, but whether it's how much of it is chemical and, a built-in mental illness and how much of it is accumulated life happening is, probably subject to variation between people, but regardless, it's very real by the time it happens, and you definitely didn't choose it. And you need to cut yourself some slack and kind of find some peace even while dealing with it. Because there's worse things that can happen than to be a little bit down on a random day. So if you come to better terms with it, put it towards more positive energy, and you can just help. That's right. You can just steer yourself towards better things. And Rome wasn't built in a day, to use a cliche there.
Reaches the most likes, get this.
Oh, he's going to give away a headband. All right.
Yeah.
A tiara of that.
No, for boys.
Okay. Yeah.
No boys would like it.
No boys would like it. So, okay, well with that, thank you. If you like this video, if it's helpful or you think it's helpful to somebody else, be sure to like it, recommend it to them, subscribe. Anyways, I appreciate it, and you guys have a good day, and if you're depressed, this too shall pass. Don't worry about it so much, and jump into VRchat. You can find me on there too, digital sticks in the game, and I have no trouble being your friend. So thank you for watching, and we're out. We are headed to the creek, and maybe there might even be some of that adventure shared soon.